Hey, what's up guys, Bracky here. Now if you're anything like me and you're a big fan of Monoblos, you'd be surprised to know that there's actually a way to hatch Monoblos eggs really early in the game. Now before we get into today's video, if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll be putting out heaps of Monster Hunter stories and Monster Hunter Rise content in the coming weeks, so you guys have heaps to look forward to. Anyways, from before I even bought the game, I knew I wanted a Monoblos on my team. It's a super powerful monster and I personally just really love the design. It's definitely a monster that you'll be able to carry through the entire game with you, so yeah, getting one early is going to be extremely useful. Of course, actually getting a Monoblos is no simple task. I've already seen another video showcasing how to get a Monoblos early, but the guy who made it was actually using some monsters and equipment from further on in the game. I personally wanted to get a Monoblos as early as possible, so I figured I'd create a strat that allowed me to do so virtually immediately after the game's story leads you past it. The earliest you'll be able to get a Monoblos egg is just after you complete the mission en route to a village that involves slaying a Basarios. The Royal Monoblos we'll be using is located in the same area as this Basarios, locked behind a stone wall that can be broken with the Rock Breaker skill, which comes with the monster Yankuku, who I would also recommend you to bring into this fight. Now there's also another reason we need to wait until we fight a Basarios before the Royal Monoblos battle, but I'll explain that in a second as we list off our prerequisites for acquiring the egg. The first prerequisite you'll need is a strong piercing weapon. This can either be a bow or a gun lance, so pick whichever one you prefer and upgrade your weapon as far as possible in order to speed up the fight. The weapon I'm using is the Tetsukabra bow. It's a pretty strong weapon, but not the strongest. I've got it upgraded to the second level, which only requires some Tetsukabra parts and some blue Yankuku parts. Secondly, you'll need both a decent speed type and a decent technical type monster. This is because Monoblos will only use speed attacks in his normal state and only power attacks when he's enraged. The reason I recommend Yankuku as your technical monster is because he's easily obtainable, and you need to have one in your party anyway to use the Rock Breaker ability. You'll also want to use both your speed and technical monsters with command attacks. The reason for this is because they will sometimes choose undesirable attacks or just abilities when they're being targeted by the Monoblos, and we need them to coordinate with us so we can achieve double attacks. So essentially you'll want at least like maybe a technical fireball ability on your Yankuku, or like a killer strike ability on your Velocidrome, which is what I was using. The third thing we'll need are some paintballs. These should be relatively self-explanatory. We need the monster to retreat to its den after we defeat it in order to grab an egg. Make sure you use the paintball within 3 turns of the monster's defeat, otherwise the effect will wear off and the odds of successful retreat will be significantly lowered. Paintballs can be purchased at the Route to a Village market. The fourth and arguably most important prerequisite we'll need is the Basarios hunting horn. This is extremely important because at this point of the game, sonic bombs aren't yet available. The Monoblos' most powerful attack is actually linked to its ability to dig underground. Normally when a monster digs underground, we would just use a sonic bomb and bring it back up, but since we don't have access to any, we'll be using the Basarios hunting horn's blast song effect, which functions in pretty much the same way. Again, this is the most important aspect of the fight because the underground attacks are one of the main variables which we can't actually control. The second you see the Monoblos digging underground, you'll want to switch to this weapon and use the blast song. It's unnecessary to actually upgrade the weapon though, as you won't be attacking with it. Now that you've got everything you need to begin the hunt, I'll start to explain the strategy behind how we'll beat the monster. Firstly, we'll make a save file in Rudo Village. Next, if you want to use a finding charm, now's the time to do so. After you've done that, you'll want to ride the caravan to the Harzgai Rocky Hill, which is where we'll find our target. Finding the Monoblos is relatively simple. Just set your Yankuku as your lead monster and follow the wall along the left until you come to 2 large boulders, which you can simply break using your Rock Breaker skill. Follow the path and you'll come across the sleeping Monoblos, and when you're ready, initiate the battle. The strategy here is pretty simple. You're going to be trying to coordinate a double attack on almost every single turn of combat, so that none of your party members actually take any damage. For the most part, Olwen and Shulk will be able to tank a standard hit from Monoblos, and we'll be relying on them healing themselves when they need to, since we're going to be pretty much attacking every single turn. Olwen and Shulk are pretty strong in general though, and they'll almost always cycle between technical and speed attacks at the right times, so we'll just try to focus on our own movements and let them do their own thing. For the most part, I'd say riding your monster isn't a terrible idea, but I prefer to simply coordinate double kinship attacks with Olwen when he's ready, and otherwise keep a full kinship bar. The most important thing is that we always have enough kinship points to either command our monsters to attack, or for us to use our blast hunting horn song. So just always make sure you have at least some kinship points in the meter, otherwise you could potentially end up in a tight spot and lose some hearts. That's basically it for strategy though. Simply coordinate your party to double attack every turn and you'll breeze your way to victory. I'll leave the rest of my battle on in the background for you guys to watch, and then hopefully you guys will be able to hatch your own Monobloes. As always though, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Monster Hunter Stories 2 content in the future. Happy hunting, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.